So I was really craving egg rolls the other night and didn't have egg roll wrappers, so I decided to use spring roll wrapper, which is rice paper. I tried cooking this with two different methods. One was deep frying, the other was in my air fryer. The best thing about egg rolls is that you can put anything in here. I basically worked with what I had in my freezer and in my pantry, and they turned out great. So if you guys want to see my quarantine egg rolls, stick around. We're going to start by soaking woodear mushrooms. These are completely optional. I had some in my pantry, so I'm using them. I do love the texture of these in egg rolls, so I try to always keep a bag in my pantry. So go ahead and soak it with hot water. Soak your glass noodles. I just put it in a bowl and covered it with hot water. Once you are able to pull them with a chopstick, should be about 5 minutes, then you can take them out to strain. Set them back in the strainer and use kitchen shears to chop them up. Peel and mince 1 clove of garlic. Lay down 2 sheets of paper towels for the onion. If you have a cheesecloth, even better. Carefully grate your onion. If you don't have a grater, you can just slice thinly. Now you want to squeeze out any excess liquid from the onion. Because we're using spring roll wraps, we want to make sure that these egg rolls are nice and dry. Water and oil do not mix, especially if you're deep frying. Now we're going back to our woodear mushrooms. Go ahead and strain that. Use a paper towel to squeeze out any excess liquid. The only vegetable I had for this was a carrot, so I'm just shredding it here. The protein that I'm using is shrimp. This was frozen, thawed, cleaned, and deveined. Now I'm just chopping it up. I'm also going to be using ground pork. I'm making about a dozen egg rolls, so I'm only going to be using half a pound of ground pork. I'm going to freeze the rest. Go ahead and get that into your bowl with the shrimp if you're using shrimp. Season with salt, white sugar, white pepper. If you don't have white pepper, you can use black pepper. This is optional. I don't use MSG. If you want to use MSG, you can go ahead and put some in now. I'm adding chicken bouillon, and then I'm adding some cornstarch to bind everything. Last ingredient going into the seasoning is oyster sauce. Mix well to combine. Now you want to add your aromatics and the vegetables. We have garlic, onion, woodear mushrooms, glass noodles, and carrots. The mixture should be on the drier side. Like I said, you don't want a lot of moisture in this egg roll recipe. I'm laying down a damp kitchen towel. This is something I just ran under water and lightly wrung out. Lay your rice paper on the towel and then firmly press to moisten. This is the technique that we're going to be using for deep frying. Flip the rice paper around to moisten the other side. The rice paper shouldn't be super pliable. As it sits, it will soften up just a little bit. Spoon about 2 tablespoons of filling to the top of the rice paper. Grab the rice paper from the top and tuck it tightly around the filling. Roll until you're about 1/4 of the way down and then fold in each side. This should look like an envelope. Keep rolling and tucking to keep the filling nice and secure. This is what the finished egg roll should look like. Again, moisten the paper on both sides. Add the filling. Grab the rice paper from the top and tuck it underneath the filling. You want to make this as tight as possible just because you don't want them to break when they're frying. Fold in the 2 sides to create an envelope and then continue rolling it all the way out. We're going to shallow fry these egg rolls, so go ahead and add oil to a pan so that it's enough to cover the egg roll about halfway up. Gently lay in your egg rolls. Don't overcrowd because these will stick together. Egg rolls can be removed when they're completely cooked through. These won't be golden brown all the way around, but if you want to do a second fry, you can go ahead and do that once they've cooled down. Now we're on to the air frying technique, which is very similar to making spring rolls. You want to get your rice paper completely moistened before starting. I'm just using a pan with hot water just because it has more surface space. Place filling at the top center of your rice paper. Fold the rice paper over, tucking the filling underneath. Fold in the edges like an envelope and roll completely through. To cook the egg rolls in the air fryer, you'll want to add some oil to a plate. I'm using avocado oil. Take your egg rolls and place them in the oil. You don't need to use a lot of oil for this, but you do need to make sure they are evenly coated all around. Place egg rolls in the air fryer. You want to make sure that they aren't touching just because the wrapper is sticky. I'm going to be cooking this at 380 degrees for 15 minutes, flipping them halfway through and then increasing the temperature to 400 to finish them off. I seriously can't wait for you guys to give this recipe a try. The egg rolls took only 15 minutes to cook in the air fryer. They came out nice and golden brown. They're crispy and cooked all the way through. Super, super easy and didn't even require that much oil. I recommend having this with Jovan, which is a Lao sweet and sour dipping sauce. I'll link the recipe for that in the description box below where you can find the recipe for this video. I hope you guys all give this a try. Please tag me on Facebook or Instagram if you do. Stay well, and I'll see you in the next video. This is the one that was done in the air fryer. I actually love the color in the air fryer. That's what that looks like. Let's try it.